four labor codes are to be implemented, then workers would be the slaves of crony capitals in our country. So if workers are not protesting against these draconian measures, then there is no justification for trade unions to exist at all. These labor codes are being passed through a process from 2019 onwards.
Yes.
But because of the resistance by the working class, the Modi government, that this may lead to big uprising among workers.
Hello and welcome to Left Lens. Today we have the CPIM's General Secretary, Comrade Baby, with us. We are having this show against the backdrop of the upcoming general strike that has been called by the trade unions on the 9th of July. We'll be talking to Comrade Baby about the significance of the strike and what it means for India and the workers in India. Comrade Baby, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
A nationwide strike has been called by various trade unions on the 9th of July. What are the issues on which this strike is being called, and why is the CPIM supporting it?
You see, the issues raised by Joint Trade Union Movement, Strike Committee, are vital to the workers of our country, in the organized sector as well as in the unorganized sector. They are taking up issues of peasants, agricultural laborers, unemployed youths, and even developments in the sphere of culture, religious freedom. So a whole lot of issues which are close to the life of people of our country are being raised. But the most important demand relates to the amendments that Modi government has already brought in. There are around 29 laws related to laborers. But now they technically claim that we are bringing them, subsuming all those different labor laws into four labor codes. But if these four labor codes are to be implemented, then workers would be the slaves of crony capitals in our country. All their democratic rights, even their right to form union, not to speak of the right to strike, all this would be taken away. So if workers are not protesting against these draconian measures, then there is no justification for trade unions to exist at all. So, beginning with their most important, life and death questions of trade union movement, to issues of various sections of society, including peasants, agricultural laborers, rural poor, cultural issues, all these are being flagged. Therefore, CPIM, a party committed to the Aam Aadmi, the poorest of the poor, and working class. Communist Party of India, Marxist, is the vanguard of working class movement. We have to definitely extend full support to such a strike.
But Comrade, there is this general perception that strikes cause a lot of inconvenience to the general public, loss to the public exchequer. So in today's scenario, do you think that the strike is an appropriate method of struggle?
You see, it is true that strikes definitely create inconvenience to many. But a strike causes inconvenience first and mostly to those who strike. They lose their wages. Their family loses the income. So why workers are venturing to cause difficulty for themselves? And strike is not the first weapon of workers. They have been given deputation. They have been observing protest day without striking. Only when all other forms of highlighting their demand before the powers that be, only when it fails, they are compelled to take recourse to the sharpest and also self-paining step of going into a strike. And now, what is being sought to be done through these labor codes, taking away the democratic rights of the workers, working hours. You see, this started centuries ago. The workers trying to, enough time for leisure, enough time for entertainment, recreation, then enough time for work. Because only by working they can sustain. This started centuries ago in Chicago. The biggest, strike had happened. After that, in different countries, legislations have been brought in, thanks to the, strenuous struggles that working class forces, with the support of the people, were able to. Now all this is being sought to be taken away. Therefore, as every other effort to represent with the powers that be failed, the last resort, the most powerful weapon of working class, which is again, I say, self-paying. They are compelled to take recourse to this.
But you see, when trade unions call for strikes, there is this limitation that several people point out, that only a very small fraction of the country's workers are aligned with trade unions, are members of trade unions. There is a vast section of the population who are working, who are not part of trade unions. How would they be impacted by such strikes, or why should they take note of these calls for general strike or even other calls made by trade unions?
You see, you are right. Organized trade union movement is world over. It is getting restricted through variety of methods by the far right ruling sections in society. In India too, the entire working class is not organized under this trade union or the other. Now, most of the important trade unions have come together to call for this strike. But even those who are not directly participating in it, they sympathize with this. They know that their rights are also involved in this strike. So sooner than later, I am very sure they would also in different forms join hands with this. But the impact of this struggle would be there on the powers that be. For example, these labor codes are being passed through a process from 2019 onwards.
Yes.
But because of the resistance by the working class, the realization of the ruling classes, the Modi government, that this may lead to big uprising among workers, they are putting it in the back burner. They are implementing it partially only. So even if some sections are not directly involved in this, they also sympathize with this. They may also join at a later stage. This is what we hope.
So you were talking about labor codes. It affects those who are working or who want to work. There's this question that the trade unions always mention about unemployment, and the country is facing huge unemployment. But if this issue is a real big threat of an issue, why is it that we don't see young people coming out in struggles en masse, like major struggles happening where this is a major issue that public discourse is happening on? That, why is that the case, that such a struggle or such a discourse is not happening?
See, Comrade Vidya, one of the tallest leaders of the Indian trade union movement, and also working class movement, he used to speak about the importance of organized working class taking up the issue of unemployment. And organizing unemployed youth, which should be one of the tasks of the trade union movement. Then he explains it theoretically and practically. Capitalists would always try to make use of the reserved army of unemployed. When workers go in for strike, they would try to recruit these unemployed youths. They always try to keep employed and unemployed in two different camps. So here also in this particular strike on July 9th, the issue of unemployment is being flagged. They would like to speak to the unemployed youth that the strike is for your causes also. Parallelly, to the best of my information, one of the most important youth organizations, Democratic Youth Federation of India, they have already called a national convention on unemployment and related issues. They are planning to have a mobilization in Delhi on the issue of unemployment. And they are extending support to this working class strike of July 9th. So this struggle of the employed workers and movement of the unemployed youth, these are going to move hand in hand in coming days.
You said that the CPIM, as the vanguard of the working class in the country, is supporting this strike. What will the role of the CPIM be in this strike? How does the CPIM hope to use this working class action for larger political action or for larger political consolidation? Also, CPIM is now part of what we call the India bloc. What will be the role of the India bloc in this regard?
First of all, CPIM is the vanguard of the working class movement. If CPIM is not extending support to the struggle of workers, then why should CPIM exist? One of the first duty of CPIM. That's why in the 24th Party Congress of CPIM, we adopted a resolution, comprehensive resolution, covering all aspects as to why. That time it was 20th May. Now it is, because of the internal developments and all that, it has been rescheduled to 9th July. We have very clearly stated that this strike is very, very important. It has a connection to the politics also, because Narendra Modi government is following a divisive political line. They want to mobilize Indian people on a majoritarian divisive communal program. The biggest state, Uttar Pradesh, the chief minister during the election campaign would say that we are 80%.
Yes.
It's a very naked, ugly, atrocious, statement of communal poison. So they, for their survival, also to divert the attention of workers, peasants, and unemployed youth from their genuine, real problems to the politics of division. When they try this, only by bringing all sections of society, transcending religious, communal, caste barriers. So it's only, not only for their rights, through this process, they are uniting Indian people also. This India bloc has to take note of. India bloc, unfortunately, is not sufficiently active. Being part of India bloc, it is my duty to also state the truth that India bloc needs to be more serious about identifying such economic issues, the misery of the people. We have to fight against communalism, authoritarianism, and neo-fascist tendencies of the ruling classes. That is one of the most important tasks. But equally important is to take up livelihood issues of people. That's what this July 9th working class struggle is doing. It has great economic meaning related to the lives of the people, but it has great political meaning also. The kind of mobilization that is required in our country today, transcending various narrow, divisive, angles of religion, caste, and so on. Issues of workers, peasants, unemployed youths, that is being flagged in this struggle. So it's economically important, politically also it's very important.
Comrade, so we hope that this strike will be a major development in forging the unity of the Indian working class, along with the farmers, farm workers, along with the youth, transcending all these boundaries, as you mentioned. All the best, and thank you for joining us.
Here, I should also, you mentioned various sections, rights of the women.
Yes.
You see, there is two different set of wage structure exist between for men and women. All that is also flagged in this struggle. So it is for a transformation in Indian society in a meaningful manner. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to participate in your program.
Thank you once again.